Hello, my name is Modus and today we are going to take a look at Soulstice, an upcoming third-person hack-and-slash game similar to DMC or Bayonetta. The Italian game developer Reply Game Studios is responsible for the stylish action game, and it has previously shown their capabilities with another title, Joe Dever's Lone Wolf. They also provided us with a great demo playable right now on Steam, so if you haven't already, I would advise you to try it out yourself, with a link down below. The actual game will release on the 20th of September 2022. In this video I will go over story presentation, visuals, level design, sound and music, combat and progression. If you haven't already, make sure to like, sub and leave a comment. So let's start with story presentation. The game features animated cutscenes throughout each level. Everything I have seen is rendered with in-game graphics, but there is a sizable difference in quality throughout the whole experience. Some animations are choppy and rugged, others are perfectly smooth and look just really awesome. Everything is further fleshed out with occasional commentary and dialogue between the two sisters, Briar and Flute. Story bits are also presented to us through echoes. Those have to be activated by a bit of button mashing and present us with additional exposure. A great piece of interactive content. The environmental building falls a bit flat. Sure, you find war machinery and a lot of dead people, but nothing really hints at why this is all happening. Next up, visuals and performance. I personally did not experience any performance issues or stuttering. The game also didn't crash and loading times were really fast. And the actual textures and models look fantastic for a AA game. Everything you see is on high settings and 1440p. You can find my setup in the top right corner. Something I really love is the cel-shaded art style. It fits perfectly to the more rugged anime aesthetic. It's also just nuanced enough to avoid the dirty look of Borderlands. But the color palette for this game is relatively dull, and I do not think we will see much variety except for the occasional red corruption of fire. Everything has this ethereal look to it. Not a bad fit, but it might get boring the more you look at it. Monsters also didn't do much to ease this problem. Everything reminds me a bit of the Shadow Isles in Runeterra. Like I said, not a bad fit, it's at the very least coherent and doesn't take you out with conflicting designs. Now, what about the level design? Levels are relatively short, combining fast-paced gameplay with short platformer-type side areas to obtain experience for your characters. This breaks up the gameplay and provides us with lots and lots of variety. The camera is locked out of combat and can only be moved slightly to certain directions, but the actual platforming feels great because of this. Crystal clusters can also only be damaged while having the right field active. Not a huge obstacle, but still something you have to think about, making gameplay a bit more interesting and engaging. But not all is great. There is a lot of invisible walls blocking your progress. You also have a double jump and air dash, but cannot jump over simple boxes. An odd design decision, which makes traversal less fun. I personally hope this will be fixed with the full release of the game. Next, a quick look at sound design and music. Soulstice features fully voice-acted dialogue in all instances. Some of it is good, or even great, but I personally didn't enjoy it that much. Most of it is just bad and doesn't fit the scene all that much, but I still prefer having something over nothing. The actual sound effects and music are both pretty good. Nothing amazing, but definitely above average. Here are a few examples.
The dead are screaming all around us, but this cuts through it all. It left a deep scar on the ether. That scares me the most. Sister, a powerful aura was here. It left traces, like an echo.
What was it?
I can't tell, but those traces may just let us see what happened.
The actual combat feels very smooth and responsive, providing you with multiple options on how to deal with enemies. Your ethereal sister, Flute, has a separate button giving you the ability to deflect projectiles, parry enemies, or even stun them for a short amount of time. The physical sister, Briar, utilizes multiple weapons and combos to destroy her foes. Her dash can also be used as a gap closer, giving you some desperately needed mobility. This makes combat extremely fast-paced. The camera is also unlocked during fights, which provides you with even more freedom of movement. You can also chain your dash, which doesn't have any charges. Cancelling a dash chain with attacks makes infinite dodges possible. Otherwise, dashing 3 times back to back locks you into an animation. Actual attacks are performed with input combos. Some require good timings indicated by a glow of your weapon. Flawless fighting charges a synchronization meter for your sisters as seen in the top right corner. Once full, you can unleash special attacks after completing combos. Those attacks have cutscene-like animations, but they are rather clunky to use and disrupt the flow of combat. But still they have a lot of style. Getting hit resets this meter and you need to start beating enemies the normal way again. And some enemies need a field to be active to be damaged, which further provides us with combat depth and interesting monster design. Which brings me to the boss fight at the end of the demo. It was frustrating at first because I didn't understand how to utilize my dashes, but the second and third playthrough were completely different. The mechanics were also fun to deal with and I enjoyed the encounter very much. Overall, a very fun combat system which made me play the demo multiple times, just so I could experience more of it. And lastly, progression. Each sister has their own progression path. Briar unlocks different combos and weapons with red crystals obtained from corruption clusters, enemies and destroying objects. Flute on the other hand unlocks special attacks, abilities and ability improvements in one of 3 skill trees. Those perks are unlocked with blue crystals gained by exploring and destroying blue crystal clusters. Finishing a stage also rewards you with more red and blue crystals depending on your ranking. The ranking can be further improved by beating the level faster, more efficiently and with better combat rankings. What I also noticed is the game unlocking more and more stuff as you progress through the levels, which hints at more mechanics being unlocked at later stages of the game. Now, I usually provide you guys with a positives and negatives list at the end, but given the incomplete picture I have about the game, I will abstain from doing one until the actual review. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, make sure to like, sub and leave a comment for my previous reviews and guides. See you all next time and bye!